This is astounding. The ancient elves were spirits who voluntarily manifested a physical form.
I'd rather go back to talking about the Blight.
Hey, Lucanus. Could Spite turn into an elf?
No.
Sorry, but... what?
This is... I don't even know what this is, and I'm not even an elf. I can't imagine what you and Davrin must be feeling.
It's fine.
We're spirits. What does this even mean? Could I accidentally banish myself?
To be clear, this memory only shows that the first elves originated from spirits. Balara, you and Davrin are no more spirits than anyone else conceived naturally.
Conceived naturally? Guess I'll go ask my mother.
The knowledge that an entire people were formed from a mass manifestation could change our entire understanding of magic.
If we let it out, is that the right call? Do you want bigoted humans yelling about how elves are demons?
Davrin's got a point. World's not short on small-minded humans.
If the world learned about this, and it led to attacks against elves.
Elves have enough trouble as it is down in Ferelden.
We have to tell someone, though. Strife and Irulan, at least.
If I told Thea and Viago, they'd think I was sampling Viago's poison collection. No one will believe us.
Okay. We keep this to people we trust who have good reason to know. No shouting it from the rooftops.
Agreed. The Morn Watch has a great deal of experience keeping dangerous secrets.
So, beyond the world-shaking stuff, what else did we learn here? Solas himself was a spirit.
What kind do you think he was?
Well, his name is Elven for pride.
Oh, okay.
There's something else. Not about spirits, or not all about them at least. Solas didn't want to become a person with a physical body.
Right. He only agreed after Mathal begged him.
Then that's his regret. He wishes he'd never taken physical form.
Maybe, but not just that. Solas was scared. They built their bodies out of lyrium, and it made the ground shake.
Lyrium is the blood of the Titans.
The Titans would have felt it as an attack. They defended themselves.
The first memory we saw with Elganon seizing power, it happened at the end of a war.
A war between the Titans and the Elves.
Lace, I'm so sorry.
It feels like we still don't have the full picture. But I think that's part of what Solas regrets. He didn't see the danger.
Except he did. He was worried, you said it yourself.
He did it for Mithal. Everything that followed, he could have prevented, if he just told her no.
Then he's got a war on his conscience. Plus, whatever we find next.
Have you created what we need?
With this, the proper ritual will sunder every Titan from its spirit. But you must know those severed dreams will certainly be driven mad. A disembodied blight of pain and anger. It is awful what we're doing.
And the only way to end this war.
Solas made the weapon that killed the Titans. No, not killed. He cut away their dreams and left them broken and mindless. He passed me in the halls of Skyhold for a year. He made polite conversation, and he knew. He knew what he did.
I don't know what to say, Lace. I can't even imagine. I'm so sorry.
I served in the Inquisition. I know terrible things happen in war. But to do something like this...
The Titans were the size of mountains. I doubt the elves were winning their fight. He considered this the cost of saving his people.
Fear and guilt make people do stupid things.
To do such a thing. No wonder regret eats away at Solas.
No, it's worse than that. That isn't what Solas regrets. Those severed dreams will be driven mad. A disembodied blight of pain and anger.
Mierda.
You can't. That's not possible.
When a warden hears the calling, it's like a song in their mind. Sound familiar to you, Lace?
The Song of Lyrium. Of the Titans.
We think of the Blight as this monstrous force with no mercy, no compassion. Evil incarnate. Instead, it's a caged animal. Mistreated and imprisoned for centuries. Until all it knows is fear.
What does this mean for Darkspawn? Should we be trying to help them?
I don't believe so. If the Blight is a corrupted dream, Darkspawn may be mindless manifestations of its anger.
Right. They're not people. We're never going to get through to them.
The Titans are a problem for later. We have Elgernon and Gillanane to deal with now.
And then I want Solas to look me in the eye and answer for what he did.
Each of these memories has been a deeper regret, and almost all of them involve Mythal.
Only one mural left to uncover by my count. If we find it, we'll see what's worse than this.
You seem at home here. Or is it a front? You know something I don't? So much for a straight answer.
Nev, you don't strike me as an animal person. Besides cats, maybe.
Oh, I'm not. Back home, you find a creature bigger than a cat, and it's probably half demonic. Damned if a third of the cats aren't either.
That's nothing like you, is it, Hassan? You might be fluff all the way through. It was a compliment.
Of all the nonsense we've run into, you're what's strange.
Hassan? Really?
There's been a god or two I didn't expect. But bad mages trying to make the world worse, that's not new. I had an uncle who went on about wardens and griffins. Loved the feathered things. They were always the heroes. If we're getting bedtime stories turned real, having griffins in the world again, it's not the one I'd have bet on.
Were you close with your uncle?
I didn't see him much, but yeah, we were. There aren't a lot of mages in my family, and in a city like Menrathis, it always matters. I learned quick who wanted to use me to step up the social ladder. My uncle wasn't one of them. He'd have talked your ear right off, Hassan.
In the stories, I assume wardens were heroes too?
Some of them.
And in real life?
Some of them. Sing your praises and you still want something? I'll find you a treat if you don't tell Davrin. Have we got a deal?
She doesn't sing praises for just anyone. Yes, you're very inspiring.
Listen up. If Davrin finds crumbs, Rook takes the fall.
Oh, I see how it is.
Hey, glad you stopped by. I was gonna grab drinks with the Lords of Fortune at the Hilt. Come along if you want. Get to know the Lords.
Sounds good. Any luck tracking down your mystery friend?
The Shaper didn't like me asking about Shaper Valta, or harassing people with talk of dwarven magic.
Damn, that's a disappointment.
Well, I'm not gonna find my answers in Orzammar. My contacts had no idea what I was talking about.
So, what now?
I was thinking, the voice said look to those closest to the stone. What if she never meant Orzammar?
Huh?
There is another great tide, the original capital of the dwarves, Kalsharak. It was lost during the First Blight, and its people survived in isolation for hundreds of years. They re-emerged, some 20 years ago?
And you think they're closer to the stone?
Orzammar can't help. What have I got to lose?
Are you sure Orzammar isn't hiding something?
Pressing them for information would be tricky. I could anger someone important. If Kalsharak doesn't turn out, I can go back to poking at Orzammar. But not before then.
I'm curious about Kalsharak's isolation.
The dwarves took heavy losses during the First Blight. To stop the Darkspawn from overrunning them, they closed off passages in the deep roads. Those that could retreated to Orzammar. Kalsharak was lost. They abandoned the city and its people, sealed them away with the Darkspawn.
There must have been another way. What they did was monstrous.
Can you imagine being trapped, knowing death was coming?
But they didn't die. The rumors.
That the dwarves of Kalsharak had to change to survive? No one's really sure what that means exactly.
When we find them, you can ask. How do we get in touch with these Kalsharak dwarves?
Already working on it. You don't spend 10 years in the Inquisition without making contacts. I should have a meeting set up by the time we're ready to leave.
I knew that you would find me soon enough. You need the power of a god. The strength that I alone still carry.
The blighted Evanuris will soon break free from their prison. I must make a stronger one that can contain them.
While the prison is important, it is not the only goal you seek.
Why should I not tear down the veil and bring back immortality to all the Elven people? They deserve it.
The Elven people of today do not deserve to see the world they love be torn apart to salve your conscience.
I must fix what I have broken. I am sorry.
As am I, old friend.
Solas killed Mythal? After all that? Is this another memory from a different time?
No. He wore that same outfit in the Inquisition. We knew Solas woke up in this world without most of his power. Now we know how he got it back.
By killing the only other god around and stealing her power.
All that epic magic and godly power. In the end, it comes down to love and murder. Same as always.
Every big mistake Solas made is tied to Mythal. He sacrificed his life as a spirit to join her.
He sacrificed his morals when he created the dagger to stop the Titans.
When the other gods struck her down, he destroyed the Elven Empire to avenge her.
Then he wakes up in this world, where everything's gone but his mistakes. And there she is, alive.
And after all he's done, she sides against him again.
All these mistakes are his fault, and hers too. If she won't help him fix the world, of course he has to kill her.
So, how does everything we know help us now?
He's being honest about fighting the Blight. Whatever happens, he won't risk letting it back out into the world.
Agreed. But he has a plan to escape that prison, and not one we'll like.
He turned on Mythal, the one person he was actually loyal to. There's no way he won't turn on us.
He's a spirit, or was once. He might be able to possess someone, affect minds, all the things spirits do.
He created the veil. His very nature is tied to it. That will be a source of strength, but also a potential weakness.
Mythal has him all messed up. Anything about her or Elgernon is gonna make him angry. Sloppy.
Solas thinks he knows what's best for everyone. Anything he does, he'll do while telling himself he's the hero.
Solas has caused a lot of damage, but he's not like Elgernon, trying to wreck the world to rule it. He's trying to repair the damage he caused, and he knows he's made mistakes. There might be hope for him.
You don't think he'll turn on us?
Oh no, he's totally going to turn on us. I mean after that.
You have witnessed the Protector's tale, Dweller, almost to its end.
Almost? How can there be more?
When the mighty fall, their echoes cross the ages. An audience is warranted. Speak with your visitor. She awaits you in the Crossroads. Well met, Rook.
How did you get here?
I did tell you I had my ways through Illuvians when I introduced you to the Inquisitor, did I not?
The Illuvians in general, yes, but not the Dreadwolf's Crossroads.
I would think you have more pressing questions at the moment. Questions about Solas and Mythal?
Mythal?
The two gods have always been linked, have they not? First, when Mythal bade her companion spirit to abandon the Fade and take on mortal form. Then, when Solas spilled Mythal's mortal blood, that he might absorb her power as his own.
Wait. How do you know exactly what we saw of Solas's past?
Think upon it, Rook. You saw for yourself in the Dreadwolf's memories. When Mythal stood against the gods' manipulations of the Blight, she was betrayed and struck down. Yet she survived and returned ages later to aid the Inquisition in its hour of need. How?
So, if Mythal was originally a spirit, maybe that's how she survived her body's death.
Very good. Mythal was a spirit turned elven. And when her body was struck down, to spirit, she returned. Her essence sheltered in a willing mortal vessel. Over the centuries, she journeyed from host to host, slowly amassing her former power anew. Until once again, she was struck down, on this occasion, by Solas. He absorbed her power, but not her memories.
Then where did they... Wait. You?
As you say.
If your Mythal returned in Morrigan, we need your help with fighting the gods.
And here I am, as you may notice. But there is something I must make clear.
What? That was like how Elganon and Gillenane can talk in your head, but...
'Twas Mythal you heard, her echoes. Yet I am not the goddess returned.
What are you, then?
I once feared Mythal would consume me were I to carry her, but 'twas not so. I remain free-willed and mortal. What I now possess is but a spark of Mythal, shadowed memories through which to sift for meaning. As to our admixture, I suspect you have questions.
How can you carry Mythal's soul if you're not an elf?
Her spark has sheltered within both elves and humans who were sympathetic to her in thought and circumstance. Mythal's last host was a woman wronged, trapped by those sworn to love her. We may readily imagine their kinship.
You would have met Solas in the Inquisition, right?
I did indeed. 'Twas before I possessed Mythal's memories. At the time, I thought Solas a scowling elven apostate whose sole passion was finding arguments. He heard me, in all my ignorance, expound on the histories of the elven people, explaining legends he had witnessed himself.
Bet he loved that.
'Tis not a memory that brings me pride.
Do you have information we can use against Gillenane or Elganon, or Solas?
The last time Mythal faced Elganon and Gillenane, she was struck down by the very dagger you now carry.
What about Solas?
You may recall he murdered Mythal's former host to claim her godly might as his own. I hoard no untapped magical secrets, Rook. What I do possess, I share freely with you and the Veil Jumpers.
All right. So, there's the soul of an elven god inside you. How does that even happen?
Mythal's last host was my mother, Flemeth.
Oh.
When I learned she intended me to become the next receptacle of an ancient god's soul, I feared naught would be left of my own.
It inevitably came to pass on a deep night. I was awakened by the presence of a blaze of magic in the shape of a woman who both was and was not my mother.
This isn't the strangest thing I've heard, but it's close.
'Tis difficult to describe, even now. Mathal's memories were both gift and burden, this blazing woman told me, but I must accept them of my own accord. The decision was paralyzing. What would it mean to become such a host? What would be lost if I refused? In the end, 'twas something in my mother's voice which guided me.
What was that?
Regret. Not the regret of a god, but of a mother who knew she would never see me again. And so, my mind remains my own. What I gained was knowledge, both Mathal's and of those who bore her.
You didn't come out here just to tell me you're Mythal.
I am not Mathal in her entirety, but yes, the Dreadwolf has occasion to visit you in dreams, where he portions out advice. And now, after finding his memories, you have peered into his deepest sorrows. Tell me then, what do you make of Solas?